we got new birds, so that means that we immediately have to build a habitat for them. Starting off with building a habitat for the little penguin. Let the chaos begin! Alright, let's start with the mini review of the new Oceania pack, which I did get early access to, although because of reasons that I will explain later, this video got delayed. Anyways, mini review of the Oceania pack. Animals, yay. Plants, yay. Items, meh. I should probably explain it more than that, but when it comes to the items, like, I'm a builder, so I should really love any items that we get, which, like, the items in the Oceania pack are great. It's just, it has a specific theme, and I don't really feel like they're versatile enough to really go that far beyond that theme. So if you want, like, the sort of bro beachy vibe, then this pack works really well. Of course, if you want to build like an oceanic area or like with Polynesian architecture, it works really well. Beyond that, it's kind of limited. Also, this is probably going to annoy anyone who wants recolorable thatch, but yeah, the thatch that is in this pack is not recolorable. Anyways, moving on to the foliage, I don't really have an explanation. It's foliage. I always love when we get foliage in a pack, and it's just nice foliage. Anyways, then the actual animals, which I was really surprised by how much I like the animals. Now, one of the first things is they're all small animals, and I really like getting more smaller animals because we have so many animals that require these huge habitats, and to get more smaller animals to kind of fill in the areas between the like A+ or S tier animals, it's just really nice to just have more kind of smaller animals to fit smaller habitats, but that kind of fit in those blank areas that you would otherwise just leave in a zoo, because it's just like, oh yeah, I don't have enough space here for this animal, but now with this pack there is an animal that can actually fit this space. So yeah, I really love just having more small animals, and also just these animals are great because I will just, this is my opinion, but if we ever make quokkas extinct or in any way corrupt them so that they don't like humans, we have failed as a species. Like, the earth can just swallow all of us all, just like humanity has failed if we somehow turn these smiley boys into non-smiley boys. And then there's the kiwi bird, which to me, I love creation farts, where it's just like, what the fuck is this animal? Kiwi birds to me are a creation fart, on the same line as like platypuses or platypusy. I don't know what's the multitude of a platypus. Probably someone is going to point it out in the comments, but for me, kiwi birds are on the same level as a platypus, where it's just like, what the fuck is this animal? I love it. Because when I think of a kiwi bird, I just think of sentient coconut or kiwi fruit. Same color, kind of similar shape. Of course, coconut probably more same size. But it's just like, yeah, if you have a coconut, stick some legs on it, give it a weird long beak, and you have a kiwi bird. Like, kiwi birds didn't evolve from other birds. They just evolved from a coconut that was dropped and somehow became sentient. That's the lore that I abide with when it comes to kiwi birds. And Tasmanian devils, that's just everybody who's not a morning person in the morning. Prove me wrong, but if I am awoken in the morning when I don't need to be awoken, I will throw shit at you. I will scream. Yeah, make sure that there's no knives nearby when you try and wake me up in the morning when I don't have to be awakened. But anyways, that's Tasmanian devils. And then we have the little penguin that we're building for today, which I always just like penguins because they're just weird. They're not really creation fart level because they somewhat make sense, but I just like penguins. I am sad though that it's not a puffin, so I really hope that later on down the line we do get a puffin. And for anyone who is like, Poison, why do you want a puffin? Look it up. I don't have the time to explain. Look up a puffin and then you will immediately realize, yeah, Poison is right, we need puffins. Just look up a puffin. Anyways, so I like the penguins, but I like them more after building for them. Not because I was building for them, but because I saw them waddle. They just have that vibe of just going to the fridge at 3 a.m. hoping that there's food. But there isn't because your dumbass didn't buy anything. So you're just staring longingly at your fridge, hoping that food will just materialize. Like they have that vibe when they waddle around of just like no thoughts, just food cravings. So yeah, that's why I like the penguins. Also, a miracle happened because when I was building and I just spammed penguins into this habitat, because you can have like 300 of them, I think. I somehow got a albino penguin, so I also like that. And they're just like the little chunky boys. I just like the penguins. When it comes to most of these animals, I just like the vibes that they give off. Also, of course, there's the exhibit animal, like the bat. Nah, like I can't really judge the exhibit animals because like from the start I'm biased against them. So if you like the bat, good. For me it's not really like, oh yeah, there's an exhibit animal, I forget. I always just count 4 animals when it's an item pack. Actually with any pack I just don't count the exhibit animals. Anyway, so if you want to get the Oceania pack, if you're a builder, if you read it, this is more of a pack that you would get for the animals. Maybe the foliage, but mostly the animals. Mostly the smiley boys and the creation fart that's a kiwi bird. Again, like, kiwi bird, it also just gives off the vibe of like, that's the perfect bird to yeet. Like, that's the perfect bird to just pick up and just throw across the world. Now I'm just thinking of a kiwi bird in an astronaut suit. Yeah, maybe I should calm down a bird. But I really just like the mental image of a kiwi bird in an astronaut suit after just being yeeted. I also think that kiwi birds are flightless birds, so I mean eventually it would calm down. Maybe with a splat, but eventually it will calm down if you yeet it. Where the fuck is this video going? I don't know. And this time I can't say, oh, I'm on like the max dosage of painkillers, so I'm woozy. I'm not. This is me trying to explain why this video got delayed. So yes, I had an ear canal infection. My ear is still kind of swollen, so like my right ear is still kind of just useless now. But that's the reason why this video got delayed, because I didn't want to spend too much time of just like being, I'm in pain, life sucks. So I just waited. It's kind of fine now. Like, it's weird. Like, yesterday I was still dying, and now it's kind of good. I don't have, like, I think I have like the minimum dosage of painkillers now, which is just 1. Minimum dosage of painkillers is just none, but yeah, I didn't have to do too much to be able to survive. Also, I just want to quickly point out, we're halfway through this video and I think I've done nothing besides building pots and fences. That's because when it came to this build, I just wanted sort of different vibes. Like, this entire video is just about vibes. Because when it came to this build, I just wanted beach vibes, but different beach vibes. So there's the big pot that has just kind of waterfront vibes. I think that's inspired by a waterfront in Sydney. Then there's another one which is also waterfront vibes, which has this big empty area that we will still have at the end of the video, because that's going to be another build that I didn't want to put into this video, because then I would have to cut out so much that it would just be a mess. So that's going to be a build for another time, also because I need to figure out how to mesh everything well or together well. And then the other vibes are boardwalk vibe, like the wooden pot that I've built that just goes sort of through the area. And then I don't know what to call this, like chain link fence vibe. I think maybe nature reserve vibe. That's what I think about when I think of that fence. But yeah, I just needed a sort of more neutral fence, because this area is also bordering what is going to be the European section. So I needed to have a fence that's just kind of neutral that can blend in with both areas. And it's just as soon as you further get into the Australian area, because this whole area is of course still part of the Australian area, as soon as you go away from the main pot into the Australian area, you immediately are just like, yes, we're in the Australian area. We're not in this sort of middle road kind of thing anymore. I, for some reason, just had the thing of like, we're not in Texas anymore. Which is kind of funny because I've never seen The Wizard of Oz. Well, I've seen like the... What is it? Like the... Not recent. Like it was probably like 5 years ago when... Like the Wizard of Oz with... I think Mila Kunis was in it. I don't know for certain. But yeah, I've never seen the original Wizard of Oz. So I have no idea why that reference came to my mind. Anyway, so... We're building a lot of fences. When it came to the actual... indoor area for the penguins, it was kind of just in this weird area which otherwise wouldn't have any use. It's this area where these two pots come together in this very small area, and I was just like, I need an indoor area just in case the outdoor area for some reason isn't accessible to the penguins, maybe because of weather or anything, or so I wanted to have an indoor area. This was the only area where it kind of worked, because otherwise this area would just not be functional, because it would just be this weird tiny area enclosed in these two pots where there's not enough room to actually make it a good area. So yeah, did the wavy roof again, because of course the whole vibe of the Australian area is supposed to be beach. So wavy roof, and I forgot to record a lot of this, but it's just like, at the end, it kind of feels like that fisherman boathouse vibes. That's what I was going for. So yeah, at the end, it kind of looks like a boathouse made out of the shapes of the pots surrounding it, and then some straight walls in between. But yeah, this building was a mess to build. I'm happy that I stuck with it, because for the longest time, this build just looked like it was going nowhere. Anyways, going back to my actual tangent that I wanted to talk about. So, as I said, I didn't really want to talk too much about, like, being in pain, the ear canal infection, my ears swollen shut, and all of the medication that I had to take and I'm still taking because it's not completely gone. I'm just in a good enough mental state right now where I can make a voiceover, which I'm really surprised because I didn't think it was going to be this soon. Like yesterday I was still dying and now I'm sort of okay. But I want to talk about weird observations I made while dying or sick. So this is just a thing for me when it comes to when I'm sick. I never want to lie down. Like when I'm sick, I want to be active, which is weird because if I'm not sick and I have like free time, I have no problem with lying down. I actually like just lying down and just sleeping or doing nothing. However, as soon as I get sick, I'm just like, I need to be active. I need to be doing something. Even though the best thing when you're sick is to rest, my brain is just like, no, we need to be active, Poison. We need to fucking run a mile. Well, actually, not run, but like, you know, I want to be doing something. Because when you're sick and you just lie down and sleep and everything, you're just in bed, being miserable, with bad thoughts. Like, some people like celery. Why? It's just water. Healthy water. Like, celery is just crunchy, healthy water. And I don't think it's even that healthy. It's just crunchy water. Yeah, you thought that these dark thoughts were, or bad thoughts were deep. No, it's like that. Also, when I fall asleep, I sleep on my side, wake up on my back. I think that's pretty normal. I can't understand people who sleep on their stomach. Like, first off, I was a dumbass because I thought, oh, if you sleep on your stomach, you just sleep face down into the pillow and you can't breathe. So I was just like, oh yeah, that's why no one likes sleeping on their stomach, because you can't breathe. Unless you're into BDSM, you might want to change your sleeping position. Unless you like being choked. Or certain other activities where you might want to be face down into the pillow. Let's move on from that. Anyway, so yeah, then I realized, oh yeah, most people who sleep on the stomach probably like turn their head so that they're not face down into the pillow. But even then, it's still not comfortable. So like, why the fuck do you sleep like that? Because you're like bending your neck backwards still. Maybe I just have a very solid pillow. Like, I like sleeping on a rock. Like, I don't want a like mattress or bed or pillow or anything where I'm just being swallowed. I want to feel like I'm being just laid down on a somewhat soft brick. But yeah, for those people who will just like sleep on their stomachs, why? Do you like being choked? Because I feel like there is a connection between people who like BDSM and people who sleep face down in the pillow or just on their stomachs. Because it's not comfortable, but somehow people still do it. So why? So yeah. Also, like, I'm like sort of shaming people who sleep on their stomachs, but then I've said this before, but I sleep weird as well. Well, sleeping positions as such, not that weird. I mean, I do the fucking Macarena in my sleep because it's just total chaos when I wake up. Like, everything is just everywhere. And I strip in my sleep. I've said this multiple times before, but like, I've recently, well, not recently, but I've also discovered, because first I thought like, oh, I strip in my sleep, like I take off my shirt somewhat like in my sleep. And I thought like, oh yeah, it's because it's warm and such. But no, it's also just regular temperatures. I just sometimes, like 8 out of 10 times, or 7 out of 10 times, I will just like wake up and my shirt is next to me. Or whatever I was wearing on top. I never do it consciously. Like, I never take off my shirt and know that I'm doing it. It's just in my sleep. And then I'm thinking like, was I like a fucking stripper in a past life? I mean, I was the good stripper if I do it when I'm in. Well, actually, maybe that. Anyways, moving on from that. So yeah, I am shaming people who sleep on their stomach, but I'm just as weird. Although I still like stripping in your sleep makes a bit more sense because it's like, oh yeah, you may be too warm or uncomfortable and such, but sleeping on your stomach, you're just uncomfortable. So you're just weird. You're, again, slight connection to you like probably being choked or stepped on. Anyways, moving back to the actual build and the casual observations I made while sick are now done. I won't talk about that anymore. But yeah, back to the actual build. So I figured out that the stalagmites or stalagmites that we got, not with this pack, before anyone thinks, I don't even know which pack or which update we got the stalagmites from. But if you sink those down and you go for like a beachy vibe, it kind of looks like those piles of sand, like the piles of sand that just are there. So I really just like doing that. Also, this is the first time that I mixed colors of rocks. Yes, I was racist when it came to rocks first. There was no mixing of rock colors before this. If anyone has made it this far, just put down no mixing of rock colors in the video if you don't know anything else to say in the comments. Just to put down no mixing of the rocks in the comments. Because for me, weirdly, this is one of the most coherent voiceovers that I've made. Like, it somewhat made sense in my head of like where we're going. But I know for certain there's people that are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I have no idea where we're going with this. Like, I went from pretentious beach. Well, first off, we had the mini review, which again is items, meh, animals, yay, plants, yay. So we had the mini review, then pretentious beach. Then I started talking about, well, shaming people who sleep on their stomachs, me stripping in my sleep. also celery is just crunchy water and all of that stuff. Now we're back to the actual beach, so it kind of makes sense. There's like somewhat connections between those things. It makes sense in my head, alright? Anyways, back to the actual builds. So yeah, really just like the plants and really like that I figured out how to mix the colors of the rocks just to make it a more dynamic scene for the penguin habitat, because I always wanted to like somewhat mix the rocks just to create that more dynamic sense, but always it was just like it works better if it's just one rock color. So yeah. Also, yes, we got volcanic rocks in this new pack. Probably never going to use them because they're just black. And it's just... Well, maybe I might use them for the Southeast Asian area. Not for the Australian area, because like the color scheme for the Australian area is just orange. That's just the entire color scheme. Well, actually it's orange as kind of light bluish, but it's just orange. Yeah, the whole of Australia is just, in Naturalis, it's just represented by orange. But hey, when it comes to the European area, it's just going to be represented by green. You have one color. Yeah, at least the Asian highlands has the color pink and purple. Like those have multiple colors, and black actually as well. But Australia, you're just orange. Just orange. Now you have like the sort of base, like the where we had the renovations and such, which I called it usually the base of Naturalis. That's just beige. Yes, I did say the two different words there. Probably my accent and just my lack of English probably fucked it up, of like base and beige. Like the base as in like military base. It's not a military base, but that's the best way of just like getting the word across in my head. And then you have the color beige, and that's just the base of Naturalis is beige. And then you have the African area, which is just kind of just red, blue, and yellow. Like it's just vibrant colors. And then you have Australia, orange. Yeah. If anyone is watching this from Australia, yeah, change your flags and such. It's just orange now. Yeah, your flag, you know, the blue one with stars and such. Nope, not right. You're now just orange. Be happy with it. Anyways, moving on to what we're building. So I tried making the waterfront pot, like the big pot that's going to just go across the entire Australian area. Wanted to give it more of a bridge kind of vibe as well, even though there's probably just like, this is just a pot, there's ground underneath it, but it's supposed to kind of give a bridge vibe. But then also just trying to make this work. Like, it wasn't difficult to make it work, but I just made it constantly too small, and now it's kind of the right size. And then we're just thousands of rocks. I also like that throughout this video, you could probably see like my build in the Asian Highlands, that I'm like constantly saying like, oh yeah, that's the next build. And then I want to do the renovation. Oh yeah, that's the next build. And then the Oceania pack comes out. And then it's just like, yeah, we're not going to go there because I want to build for the kiwi birds next. Or the quokkas. I don't even know if that's the right way of pronunciation. So if anyone made it to this part of the video and have no idea what to comment because this video was a complete mindfuck, just put down in the comments, don't mix rock colors and quokkas. Also, throw a kiwi bird at the like button if you like this video, and throw a Tasmanian devil at the subscription button if you want to see more. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.